Hi, Stamper fans. Welcome and thanks for joining me. Whether you're watching on Facebook or if you're catching the replay on YouTube, I'm so happy you're here. I'm Nan and I help people slow down, get creative, and stay connected, whether that's crafting together or you making a handmade item that means something. So let's make something fun today. Okay. So if you follow me on social media or subscribe to my newsletter, you know that recently I attended a virtual event that Stampin' Up! Put on for demonstrators, and I found a new obsession, making banners. um, Absolutely fabulous. I'm going to show you tonight this Poe-Inspired banner, how it comes together, give you some tips and tricks on making them. And the great thing is you can kind of use whatever you have in your craft area on banners. Every kind of section can be a little different even if you want. So I recently got the party banner dies. They've kind of been on my wish list for a while, and they were on the supply list for the event because we made a banner as our last project. And I'm so happy they were. I'm so glad they, that I took the jump. I've already got ideas for Thanksgiving, fall, Christmas, birthdays. Like literally, you can make a banner for just about anything. So new babies, like, oh my gosh, just the possibilities are literally endless. So I've done all the die cutting ahead of time tonight because this is more about the assembly of things rather than, here's how you die cut. So let me get this one out of the way for right now and show you what I've got. So I am starting with 2 of the banner pieces in basic gray, 2 in very vanilla, and 1 in Highland Heather. So I'm just making a 5-piece banner. These use the 5th largest banner die, which conveniently also fits on a card front. So if you are a card maker and have no interest in making banners, you can also make cards with these banner dies, right? And you can layer them and all sorts of things because you've got so many graduated sizes. You can also make bigger banners than what I'm doing because you've got 4 more bigger than that. Okay, so I am going to start, where is my trimmer? There it is. I'm going to start by scoring the top of each of these banner pieces at 1/2 inch. This is going to be the fold over section. So I do want to point out these banner dies do come with hole dies and little like hole reinforcers basically. So you can put holes in each of them and string through ribbon or thread or anything that way. But we're going to do it this way. And I've got to tell you, this is a pretty awesome way to do it. I'm loving this. So this will also give me a top border for my decorations. So I won't accidentally put any decorations or any die cuts or anything like that above where we're going to fold over. So it's a good idea, I think, to do that part first. Okay, so we've got that going on. Let's see here. So I'm going to stamp first on these vanilla pieces using the Raven's Tail stamp set. So like I said, you can use whatever you have in your stash. I'm sure you have Halloween appropriate or whatever, celebration. Sure, you've got stuff in your stash. I will say, however, that if you're a fan of Poe or horror or Halloween, this is a fabulous stamp set to have. I'm a big Edgar Allan Poe fan. I was not goth in college, but I definitely had some darker periods, I guess, like, some darker interests. So I absolutely loved Poe's writing and read a lot of it while I was in school. And just, he's a fun one around Halloween, isn't he? So we're going to start with our big Raven stamp. Just ink this up. I am using basic gray ink for all of my stamping today. So that's another thing that's pretty simple, right? We're going to stamp this guy over here. Look at how gorgeous that comes out. Like, it is such a crisp, detailed stamp. Just love it. Let's clean that up. Actually, I'll clean that one up later because I don't think I need that block anymore. Okay. Then we also have Quoth the Raven, Nevermore. Like, how awesome is that? Can't get more Halloweeny than that, I think. I'm just going to line those up, and I'm going to pick those both up with one Stampin' Block so I know that they will stamp exactly where I wanted them to. Beautiful. All right, we'll see if I need that block anymore. There is also this really cool corner stamp in this set, so you can make some gorgeous kind of filigree cards. My gosh, if you were making like wedding invitations or something like that, this would be a gorgeous little touch for that. So always think about ways that you can use your stamps that aren't necessarily what was intended, because obviously this is a more horror-themed Halloween kind of leaning stamp set, but that little corner piece is gorgeous. So definitely pull that out and use it on everything, which is kind of what I did with this banner. I just took bits and bobs from all over the place, all of my stash to just kind of figure out, what was going to go right. All right, I also have, okay, so that is the extent of the stamping on the vanilla. What do we got next? Yes, on the basic gray. So next I grabbed, we'll use this again in a minute. My station's going to be a mess. Next, I grabbed the Echoes of Detail stamp set. This is actually part of a hot foil bundle. So the other one you've seen some cool brick hot foiling I've done before, if you follow me along with me. But I kept the foiling off of this particular banner, and I'm just using inks and die cuts. So we're going to use this Crackle one first. This is another great stamp set, and the foil one too, for just adding texture and detail to all sorts of things. So, even though it's a crackle, you could use it for all sorts of things other than Halloween, obviously. So I'm going to just want to taking a peek at my sample. So I'm just going to kind of tilt this crackle, and then I'm going to turn it, what is that, 180 degrees, right? And just kind of line it up so it, wow, that was pretty good. So they kind of meet in the middle. It's just a cool little effect, I think, for this particular banner. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this other end, but we're going to tilt it the other way. You absolutely don't have to make this symmetrical, obviously. I kind of just do. That was one of the things, because I've been stamping for well over 20 years, as any of you that have been around for a minute know. And that was one of the things that I had the biggest trouble with, because I like things symmetrical. And so really, to make more interesting looking projects and kind of more professional looking, you need the asymmetry. You need things in, groups of 3 and not perfectly lined up and that kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, symmetry and perfectly lined up things do have its place, but usually it's the kind of out of sync stuff that's more interesting. So I'm going to take that brick pattern and, whoops, I'm going to stamp it off because I want it to be more subtle. And we're going to just pop it down the middle. I think I did this the same. So we have a little bit of texture again in the middle of that one, right? Okay. Lastly, we're going to bring back that Raven stamp set because it also has a Happy Halloween sentiment in there. Put this guy away. So I have less to clean up when I'm done. So we're literally using every stamp from this Raven stamp set. And I am going to stamp the Happy Halloween just on a little strip of the Highland Heather, the purple. And we'll do a happy. And I'm going to cut this up so it does not really matter how well I've lined it up. Love that kind of stamping, right? Very forgiving. And we have our Halloween. Perfect. Okay, so that is all the stamping done. Get this put away. Okay, that's down there. Close my ink pad so I don't go to work tomorrow covered in basic gray. Okay. So let's see. The other die cuts I used for this particular project are from the Greenery. Oh, this is the Greenery Lane. The Greenery Lane die cuts, which I used this one, and the Beautifully Celebrated dies, and I used this one, which I saw recently making like a book cover spine. Gorgeous. I have to figure out how to recreate that. So I will tell you the Greenery Lane dies and well, the whole bundle is on our last chance list. So it could be gone soon. And how soon, I will tell you, could be faster than you think because the die cuts I did from the Earthen Metallic, which is kind of like a deep copper maybe. It's so gorgeous. It's like a chocolatey brown metallic kind of thing. But it went on our last chance list very recently, like just a couple of weeks ago, and it's already gone. So don't wait on your last chance items. If there's something on the last chance list that you want, definitely, click the checkout on that. All right, let me see how I did this. Yes. So I am going to take our Happy Halloween. I'm going to do a little slant cut here. I'm going to do a little slant cut this way. Pitch that guy. And then I'm going to get them very close to their letters as well. So literally this is all just hand cutting, nothing super, exact or anything like that, right? Got these little words, you can just cut close to them. All right, let's do a little assembly. So first I'm going to start with these cool corner pieces. Like seriously, I love these. So pretty. I was smart enough to put adhesive sheets on the back of these so we can peel and stick. Basically, adhesive sheets turn your die cuts into stickers. And I love that for me and for you. And so I've got my score line here. I'm just going to line this up just under the score line and even with the edge. We're going to do that on all of the pieces. So I also want to tell you while I am on tonight that I will be live again next Monday. It'll be a surprise what I'm doing because it's a surprise to me still. But that will be my last live video. And then from then on, I am going to start posting pre-done videos. So you will still see videos from me. It's just that they won't be live anymore. I will be honest with you. I'm not going to do a super lot of editing because that is not my jam. That's one of the reasons I love live. It's like, this is me, like it or not. So you're still going to get a lot of this is me, even though they're pre-done videos. But the reason is I went to only 2 videos a month starting this January thinking, oh, that'll free up some of my Monday nights and, for other things because I won't have to be scheduled on at 7 o'clock, right? And then I feel like we lost the consistency because I feel like a lot of you weren't sure when I was going to be here. So we've lost some viewership. So I'd like to get back to weekly because I did enjoy that. But I also just need to have some more flexible time. So we're going to just do things ahead of time for you. I also don't get a lot of viewers that are actually live. Most of you, I think, watch my replays either here on Facebook while they're available or on YouTube. So, yeah, I don't see the benefit of me necessarily showing up live. I don't think you guys really care if I'm live or not. All right, these gray ones, I did not think to put adhesive sheets on the back of these. So these gray ones, I actually want to tuck these leaves this way, right? Sure. Underneath the corners a bit. So another little thing I learned from our event was dot, dot, not a lot with the liquid glue. So you really don't need a lot. So I'm just going to dot the closed leaves. Not going to worry about the open ones. Come on, guys, come out. There we go. Come out and play, right? A little bit in the middle. I'm just going to put that in there and I'm going to put a block on top of it. Whenever I have something that I've put liquid adhesive especially on, I'll just pop a block on it while I'm doing the next thing I have to do because that weight helps just keep it in place so it doesn't get bumped or anything and it is flat to the surface instead of maybe curving up and not adhering where I wanted it. And then this one will go to this side and we'll move the block over there. Okay, I've got a little bit of a pop up there. There we go. Okay, so then I can put my little corner pieces on the gray. And I will say, I was for a while doing, anytime I had dies that were detailed like this, that I would want to use adhesive sheets with, I was using my label maker to put adhesive sheets on the magnet sheet that I put the dies on. And I just haven't gotten around to doing that lately. So it did help me remember sometimes, not always, but often. So I got to get back to doing that again. I actually came down here last week and I told Russ after I came back upstairs, I said, first thing I had to do when I got down there was clean up because holy moly, I couldn't even be down in my craft room until I put some stuff away. Okay, that one's all good. We're going to use those last two in a second. I do love the contrast of this metallic, kind of deep brownish, coppery against the gray and the vanilla and the purple. You might have noticed too, I do take a block when I've got the adhesive sheets and just kind of go over it. Our blocks have a rounded edge, so you're not going to catch anything really. And it just gives it a good burnish over the whole thing. You could totally use your bone folder as well. But if you have blocks that have a rigid edge, just be careful. I probably wouldn't do that because you might actually score your piece or rip it, and you don't want to do that. So use a bone folder, or if you have our blocks, that'll work too. Okay, so we've got our pieces mostly done here. Get my bone folder out of the way. So many things. Okay, the last two leaves, I'm not going to do them right now, but they're just going to kind of overlap up the middle. So they have that little brick background, right? So now I'm going to show you. Let me just make sure that that is exactly where I am here on my instructions. Oh, yes. I need to add a little bit of embellishment. So here again, I did not have any basic gray or Highland Heather embellishments, but what I did have were these 2025, 2027 in color flat pearls. So they've got the Secret Sea and Cloud Cover and Timid Tiger, Darling Duckling, and I think Strawberry Slush. So I'm thinking I could either use the Cloud Cover or the Secret Sea. The Secret Sea, because of that iridescence, has kind of a gray look. So I think I'm going to do that. And because I just need a little more zhuzh to these vanilla pieces. So we're just going to grab like, I don't know, a large one and we'll put it over here. We'll take a medium guy, put it up this way. Small one up here. So we kind of make a little triangle, right? There's threes. It's better in threes or odd numbers. And then over here, we'll kind of go around our raven. So let's put the large one up there, a small one, and a medium. Okay. I should have put my words on first because I think that's right in my way, but we'll see. I also don't know where the top to that one. So that'll be fun to clean up. Okay. Now let me show you how to attach your twine. So get some things out of the way here. Oh, there's the top. I knew it would show up. I'm only going to show you on one piece because, you know, you don't need to see me do this 20 times, right? So here we go. I will tell you that liquid glue is your friend with this. I'm going to get these back in here for just a second. So you are obviously going to put the twine on in back and fold this over. If you went and folded or turned all your things over like this, when you actually flipped it back, your pieces would be backwards, right? So like if you spelled out a word, it would be all out of order. So you want to make sure to flip them like top to bottom kind of thing. So that way they're still going to be in the same order. The same sides are going to be next to each other. So your words will be correct or your images or whatever you've got going on. Okay. So that's the first tip that I can give you about the assembly, you know, of your twine. I am using our, what is it? Baker's Twine Essentials pack. So I'm using the white today. On my sample one, I used the gray. It just really depends on what you have. If you have this regular kind of twine, you're going to want 2 pieces to make it sure it's good and thick. I'm using a 55-inch pieces. So 2 55-inch long pieces of twine. I'm going to fold it in half so I can gauge my center. And that is going to go in the middle banner. Okay. So we're going to put some liquid glue down pretty much right in that crease where I scored it. And get my center here. And pop that right down in there. It's just going to hang out for a second. And then what I'd recommend is having some binder clips or clothespins or clamps or something like that. And you're going to put the next bit of liquid glue about halfway between the edge and your score line. And I do this because I don't want it seeping out the top, right? So we're going to fold that right over that twine. And then I'm just going to add my little clips because then I can keep going and it will dry closed because the clips are holding it and I don't have to stand there and hold it, right? So you can put as many clips on as you want. And there you go. So that is how you do it. Now I'm going to tell you that the presenters at our event said, oh yeah, use liquid glue. And somebody asked if you could use tear and tape. And she's like, sure. And I have tear and tape. So I thought, oh, that'll be better because it'll be less messy. And so I did one with tear and tape. And then I decided to do the other ones with liquid glue. And the tear and tape one kept popping open. It didn't matter. I had put 2 things of tear and tape on there and it still kept popping open. So I'm going to tell you to use liquid glue on here because it will stay. And so here is our finished one. So we've got our little crackle guy. We've got, that is how I did my Happy Halloween. So I'll probably have to move one of those dots, which is super simple. We've got our little leafy guy. We've got our Nevermore and some more crackle. So that is going to look fabulous, right? For Halloween, maybe on my desk at work. I mean, a 5 banner one like this would look great on a desktop at work or something like that. Da, 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 da. Let me click over here. There we go. Hello. So yeah, a 5-banner one like this is just the perfect little, it's a great little gift. It's you can actually use these individual things as like tags for gifts if you want, if you're, especially if you're giving like maybe books or something like that that are kind of flat. That's awesome. But yeah, a 5-banner one is perfect. If you've got like a birthday you're decorating for, obviously you can do a bigger deal. Like think about photo backdrops, things like that. Wouldn't it be nice to just make everything yourself and not have to worry about what coordinates or going with, if something's out of stock, you've got it. So it's absolutely perfect. So yeah, I will be making lots more of these. I've got a couple of different craft fairs this season coming up, so I'll be adding these to my stock of stuff that I'm selling. I think they're going to go over really well. So thanks so much for spending part of your day with me. I hope you'll take what I've shown you today and turn it into something you're proud to display or gift. And I will put more details plus close-ups of each of these banner pieces in Tuesday's email. So if you don't subscribe to my email yet, you can do that at, there we go, stampernan.com. Those go out every Tuesday. And of course, you are free to unsubscribe anytime you want, but you're not going to want to. All right. So I will see you again soon. Happy stamping.